We're at part 9 of Portal 2 playthrough.
I love how we start every part with a load screen. That's
I think
awesome.
I mentioned that earlier.
Loading. We
that
are
was a
still
week and a half ago.
loading.
It was a week and a half ago. I don't remember what we said a week and a half ago.
An additional $60. Test associate and let them know. You could walk out of here with 120 weighing down your bindle if you let us take you apart.
What age period is this? The
70s.
The part where,
70s?
where he's hiring homeless dudes.
This is
No,
this is the 70s, I think.
I'm just saying, like, what will be $120 then to us today?
It's still a decent amount of money.
You know, how many of the test
Like
subjects back
500
then actually
probably-ish.
walked out with their compensation vouchers, I wonder?
Probably like 3.
3.
I don't know how many test
Oh no,
subjects they had.
you got the repulsion gel on you.
You fucking sprayed yourself with repulsion gel. Numb nuts.
Didn't you listen to Cave? He
I
said
hope
not
you
to
didn't
give
like
it
your
on
face.
you.
Clang. I love how rickety this test chamber is.
I'm
Chell
surprised
is very heavy.
it's not broken by now.
Chell has actually put on some weight. GLaDOS wasn't completely
Somehow.
last.
I'm not pretty sure you don't eat anything while in hibernation, but whatever.
Oh, well. They probably had some system of intravenous whatever, something-ish going on there. But,
Whoa.
you know, now that I think about it, doesn't GLaDOS make a crack about Chell somehow putting on weight while in hibernation?
Yeah, she's actually we can't tell if it's sarcasm or not, but she shows legitimate surprise that she somehow managed to pack on a few pounds.
I'd like to congratulate you for beating the odds.
You might be wondering why GLaDOS
Eating what?
is so.
Eating what?
You might be wondering why GLaDOS is so uncharacteristically quiet during these test chambers. It is because of those 1.1 volts. I would just like to remind you all. Splatter.
No, maybe
Isn't she like
could
trying to
get the
process
shot.
and try to figure out a plan or something?
She can't. She literally does not have the energy.
Yeah, so she's got to like focus everything all at once to do anything or something
0.1
like
volts.
that.
1.1 volts are not enough to concoct an underhanded scheme to betray Chell, but they are enough to resist the urge to think about a paradox. So you know, you take what you can get.
No, I meant like, isn't she just trying to find out a normal plan to just get Wheatley out of the GLaDOS body?
Spit shine on the old ones. Plus, we're scooping out tumors. Frankly, you ought to be paying us.
Well, you know, that's not
It's not
exactly.
like we have 1.21 gigawatts to work with, so...
Yeah, I guess.
Who has the 1.21 gigawatts? It's not GLaDOS.
Now that I think about it, what is Aperture's power source?
I thought you were going to ask what a gigawatt was.
Oh. Well, that was what triggered the thought. But how is Aperture powering itself, even to the point where old Aperture is still up and operational?
I wouldn't be surprised if they just had a gerbil on a hamster wheel powering the entire thing.
Oh, 2 billion gerbils on 2 billion hamsters.
That are still alive.
They managed to genetically engineer a Pikachu to power it all.
Just running on a hamster wheel.
Yeah, managed to genetically engineer Pikachu, have it running on a hamster wheel to power everything.
Seems rather inefficient, but it's Aperture, so I'm not surprised.
The hell is beer dirt?
Joke.
Everything about Aperture is inefficient.
That's the
And
point,
you know what?
Ted.
They engineered like
The series of tubes to bring everything around, except it's so long and convoluted, it's really actually less efficient than just carrying it.
no. I picture the secluded wing of modern Aperture full of nanny turrets that are completely dedicated to the task of breeding these gerbils / Pikachus that are powering the place on hamster wheels, so that you never run out of a power source.
Hey Lewis, I'm proud of you. There was a sign there that said Gamma on it, and you didn't make a Sonic reference.
Well, you brung up Sonic anyway.
Thank you for making the reference instead of me. I was trying to resist that.
See, Ted, the comparisons to Lewis just write themselves.
Now, I could just totally go against the grain and make an Incredible Hulk reference. Would you prefer that?
I
Yeah,
don't
okay.
get how he sounded. Well, I am a Marvel fan.
Dr. Banner. pelted by white portal gel, turns into the Hulk.
All right, now this gel is the experiment that eventually killed Cave Johnson, because it is made of moon dust, liquefied moon dust, which happens to be really good for making portals with.
But it's very deadly.
Foreshadowing, methinks.
Yes.
Very good foreshadowing. Wee.
Yes, the moon dust being a portal conductor is a really good. Ah, here we go. New aperture, almost.
It is new aperture.
Not quite. Just like one skin layer beneath new aperture.
As a result, you may have heard we're going to phase out human testing. There's still a few things left to wrap up.
Even more foreshadowing.
The phase out human testing thing is foreshadowing to the co-op story, where they have robots designed specifically to serve as test subjects instead of humans. Personally, I'm wondering why it took Cave Johnson so long to think of that.
We're going to see if jumping in and out of these new portals can somehow leach the lunar poison.
Well, we were talking about when the portal gun was invented.
Yes, I forgot about this line. You know what? That's where the plot hole comes from.
So you know that the portal gun was made at least before the very end of.
At least before the very end, but it was made. It was made at this point in Aperture's history. But all the test chambers from like the past 3 decades
require the portal gun.
Yeah. So what the fuck? You know what? I know where all those missing astronauts went now.
The moon!
They all fucking died because they didn't have a portal gun to work with. That's why.
The moon launch didn't happen. We just ported our way up there. Which isn't very fun to watch on television, now, honest. That's why we made the whole shuttle launching.
You know what? If they opened a portal to the moon and kept it open, it would suck all of Earth's atmosphere out.
We'll be getting to that. Well, it would still last a little while. It's a pretty big atmosphere, but
it's a little while.
It couldn't possibly suck all of the.
Dude, it would suck it all out.
Eventually,
no, it would suck it all out right away. There's a lot of air.
Like we were saying, it would take a little while, but it would do it.
Imagine
it would probably take like at least a few hours.
Oh, it would take longer than a few hours. It would take longer than a few hours. Like, imagine a tire with a very, very small hole poked in the bottom. It's going to drive fine for a while, but eventually it's just going to run out of air.
Yeah, but in this game, the portal to the moon's only open for like 20 seconds. So
yes, that's why it's not a problem.
Yeah, there's a mechanism in the portal gun, or maybe around it, where when you walk through a emancipation grill, it automatically shuts off all portals that you happen to have made. I'm not exactly sure how that works or how many ways there are to activate it, but
science.
Science.
GLaDOS can apparently shut off portals without actually using the portal gun itself. I love this line, and it is.
Don't make lemonade. Make
everybody loves this one.
Oh, here we are.
It's not quite as mimetic as the cake line, but it has become pretty notorious.
Today, give Cave Johnson lemons. What?
I think
your house down with the lemons.
Yeah, because what's funny? It was like I at one point. During my job, I got real angry with the customer, but I'm the real passive type when it comes to arguments. I will just stay silent and let you pass. I know you're not going to be in the store for very long, but just one point, this customer, I almost got into a tantrum with, and I just wanted to burst out in a Cave Johnson rant, just to utterly confuse the fuck out of him. It's like, I'm going to burn your house down with the lemons.
That the rant happens to involve demanding to see Life's manager would make that just all the more hilarious if you'd actually followed through. But I don't think it would have been good for your employment history.
No.
So it's a good thing you resisted that particular urge.
It was a combustible lemon.
All right. Anyway, I was going to say, I think the only reason this rant hasn't become as mimetic as the cake is a lie line, I think it's because nobody except Cave Johnson can pull it off like Cave Johnson, so it's automatically not as funny if someone else says it.
So do you think now, whenever J.K. Simmons goes to a convention, they're just going to have him repeat the rant over and over again?
Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised.
They're having J.K. Simmons do Jonah Jameson's voice again in one of the Spider-Man cartoons, so I really hope they reference this in the cartoon, but they probably won't.
I think
J.K. Simmons just has an outstanding voice altogether. I love the guy's voice.
Yeah.
Well, the guy can make
He's
anything.
a great actor.
Yeah. So, anyway, moving past the lemon rant,
I do love the T-shirt with the lemons with the fuse on it. It says Cave Johnson's combustible lemons.
like I said, moving past the lemon rant.
Great, keep
All right.
talking.
Speaking of the lemons,
What were you gonna say?
We're not where we are in the game now. Is we're no longer in old Aperture's test chambers, or even in almost new Aperture's test chambers. We are at the point where we're doing nothing but making our way back up to new Aperture.
Never tell me the odds.
thank you for making the Han Solo quote.
I tried.
That's right. That's a spirit. Potatoes. Oh, potato
Shit.
exploding
Oops.
with dignity, huh? This whole
was very
situation is
ungraceful.
incredibly stupid, but that's what I love about it.
Fuck.
Oops.
Curses offense.
I can survive hundreds of stories of falling, but can't jump over a fence.
You wouldn't even need to jump over it. The bars are wide enough that if this were in real life, you could just slip through the bars. You know, little
Or you
gymnastics.
could hop over it.
You could hop over it, or you could slip under it. Either way, you're going to land on those spring-loaded heels.
I believe this room took me a little bit of a while to do.
This one only took me a little bit because I wasn't exactly sure where to go after you get to the second level.
Yeah.
I think I do
know
a
this-
jump cut here too. I'm
I know-
not sure.
I know this is a random ass time to bring this up, but you know the one of the things that bugs me about first person shooters or games that are like first person shooters, like Metroid Prime or Portal, the position of the gun and the way it is always fucking right there at the bottom of at the bottom of the screen. Like I realize it's like sort of a genre holdover, but if you were actually in the first person, your gun would not always be suspended at exactly that point in your vision. Right?
Nah, it's just the gameplay element. That's all.
Well, I can understand like a military first-person shooter. That would make sense because it's sort of like standard battle procedure.
Not to hold it so steady, dude. It'd be like when you were running, it would be like going back and forth. Like it would probably be a lot lower. It's only going to be like in your directly in your field of vision when you're holding it up through the sight. If you have an AK-47 and you're firing it from the hip, you're not looking at your AK-47. It's down there by your hip. You know.
It's a gameplay holdover.
I know. I'm just saying. We've gotten to the point where they could make an effort to make those things more realistic, and some games have made some more effort to make that realistic.
I don't know about you guys, but looking at these pellets of gel makes me hungry for a bowl of cereal for some reason. I was thinking of Kix.
Well, you see,
Yeah,
when
they do
when
kind of
they're all-
remind me of Kicks, yeah.
I wasn't thinking of Kix mostly because the color I was thinking of like some kind of fruit flavored cereal that you would find on a budget shelf.
Old-fashioned tricks.
Maybe.
Very old tricks, yeah.
I wouldn't know that because I was raised on Tricks.
Crunch berries. Now that I'm looking at these,
Exactly, that kind of cereal, that fucking kind of cereal. Only
Oops,
with
all
more,
berries.
with a lot more orange.
Remember that promotion? Oops, all berries.
Tastes like shit.
I brought it back.
They what? You were saying, Ted?
I love crunch berries. What are you talking about?
I'm talking
we
about
love crunch
berries.
We love
No,
crunch
I was
berries. We don't
thinking of
like
crunch
oops
berries.
all
I'm done.
berries. Terrible idea.
Are you done?
What's the difference? It's just that.
Hey, Johnny, are you done showering yourself in repulsion gel and propulsion gel and moon dust gel and shit? Because
I'm pretty sure your skin has already been eaten off by this point.
We don't know exactly what it does to the human skeleton.
Just that it doesn't like it.
Just doesn't like it.
oh no,
Whee!
you've been exposed to radiation and have an extra arm growing out of your stomach. What do you do?
Get superpowers. What else?
This isn't the 60s, Ted.
A bullet to the brain
Like
is
Shadowgate either.
If anyone is wondering when I got to that question in Fallout 3, I went for the precision laser surgery. Because I'm not a fucking moron. Thank you very much.
This one took me a while too. I think I'm gonna do another jump cut like I did earlier here.
Yeah, this one took
If
a
only
bit.
because of the. It's
You
not
just have the
second
portal
bit, like
there,
this-
and then you get the.
Blue on
It's
the
not.
bottom.
No,
Blue.
no. It's not. It's not here in particular. It's at a little further south from where I'm standing.
Yeah. Whoops.
Little overzealous there. It's
Although
probably-
repulsion gel would be a really easy way to do a moonwalk.
I do like the concept of the white gel because it kind of works around the problem I was talking about earlier about how portal walls only ever have portal spots in the plate in the general area you're supposed to put portals. With the white gel, that notion gets shot completely out of the fucking water because you have to make your own portal walls yourself. So you have to think of puzzles in a completely new way. So I would say, as far as the game goes, when they started adding the white gel to it, I just found that the portals got a lot more interesting to me. Sometimes it's a bit too obvious because they have some mark on the wall telling you where to shoot your fucking portals, but
Convenient how the fan just sprays it everywhere instead of just spraying the fan.
Well, generally,
Yeah.
whenever there's a slant, you can tell. On the bright side, Wheatley doesn't have to do that coat of paint he's been putting off for the past few weeks.
But he's only been in charge for a few hours.
This has been a long time planning. Yes, it took him weeks to come up with the plan to paint the area.
watch your step. How would there even
The
be a
house-
watch?
I don't even
Why
know
would
where
there
we are.
be
How can you walk up this?
I know that's what
How
I'm wondering. Like, how
Would
steep
there
is
even be
this?
signs like that in a place like this? I mean, who in their right mind would walk around in here?
Ratman?
Like,
Man.
at first I thought I glitched my way up. here.
Yeah, I thought I did too. I was like, what? How am I walking on this? Where am I?
It does look like one of those places in a game where you wouldn't be able to physically get to, but it is part of the puzzle. What the fuck are you doing? You played this game before, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. I'm already there.
Wee.
Ooh. Somehow I missed the pipe I was trying to land on.
This room took
Really?
me some time as well, only because I wasn't thinking with portals. I feel ashamed.
Yeah. Yeah, half the time when you get stuck on something like this, it's because you aren't thinking with portals. Now, what this room's purpose serves in the overall scheme of the facility is to connect the gel pumps to Upper Aperture's puzzle chambers. So, what you're actually doing on your way up is connecting all of old Aperture's gel puzzle mojo to new Aperture's portal mojo.
Woo.
Hence why new Aperture suddenly has
Gels.
gel puzzles.
And
Oh, what the fuck?
And on that point of not thinking with portals, has anyone else seen that awkward zombie comic?
No.
I'm not thinking with portals. Okay, it shows Chell
I'm
running around doing all of this really convoluted stuff, like picking up turrets, putting stuff else, and then she stops and goes, "Oh wait." Puts a portal to the right, puts a portal to the left, and finishes it instantly.
Now, like as far as I'm aware, am I
God damn it,
doing
my video
am I
froze.
doing this room
Gah.
correctly? Like, do I have to stand on these pipes?
Oh, you don't.
Okay.
I
so
said
what's
I said another position.
Now, this room's puzzle is really fucking simple once you know where to put the puzzle. Once you know where to put
Hey
the portal.
guys,
But
what
you
time
also need
are
to
you
fall from a
at?
certain altitude in order to get the distance you need.
Yeah,
I just don't know where.
but you see, look in front of you. There's a massive fucking portal wall that reaches all the way up to here. And then there's
Yeah,
a
I
little
know.
very obvious portal patch right there. And there's all these portal walls, and then there's this below you, yes, I suppose.
But I'm wondering how high do you have to be? That's what I'm
You have to
asking.
be pretty high, but I don't think you need to be on there specifically.
I've never stood on those, and I managed to solve the,
Hey guys, what time you at?
Know your paradoxes. Ah, this is where I excel.
So what is it? In case of what was it?
In case
what was
of
the-
paradoxes, remain calm.
But you know, the thing about that sign is, if it's designed to warn AIs against paradoxes,
It's telling them paradoxes.
yeah, the AI would like instantly explode the moment it looked at the warning sign. Kind of counterproductive, don't you think?
Welcome to Aperture.
You know, this takes for fucking ever. Hey, there, you see that the gel pipes are connecting to the upper level. But what really takes forever is the elevator that you ride up to upper aperture. Nice shadow effect there, by the way, dudes. But, yeah, they have this platform on a crane here.
Ever think of an escalator? Seems a little...
That'd be a really
You know-
big fucking escalator.
This is a really fucking precise crane if it can attach so smoothly to the platform you are on, by the way. Like, how much trial and error do you think they had to go through when building that?
How do you do that?
Like I care if you get fried potatoes.
I'd offer to, you know, I'd offer to say the paradox for you, but you know, I want to see your reaction when this happens.
Yep.
Yeah, when the elevator stopped, that was your cue to get off, dude.
What is that? Are these springs?
Yeah, this is connecting to the new aperture.
But it's spring loaded?
Well, you know, there's a special mechanism at the bottom of the facility in case of, you know, global apocalypse. The entire laboratory is designed to launch off the face of the Earth and vacuum seal itself so that science may continue in the depths of space as its own self-sufficient planet running on potatoes. Yeah.
Seems very convenient. Great idea.
I wish I were joking about that, guys, but yeah.
What?